Good morning, Year 10, and welcome to Monday morning. Let's get the week off to a good start with a nice, quick, informative, scientific tutor time today. Right, guys, so let's go through notices. I'm still calling around 3 calls a day. I've tried to contact everyone now, so I'm going to the top of the list, but I'm in school like this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that might dry up my calls a bit because I'll be teaching all day and like busy and that, but I'll still try and call around. Those of you I couldn't call and get to talk to or talk to your parents or whatever, I sent you an email. Thank you. All of those of you replied. It was really nice to get some replies and to talk to you all, really, because obviously I've got like, I talk to people at Glenville, and I've got my office has got a group chat and that, but it's all about business, and it's nice to talk to you lot and see what you're all saying. So yeah, thanks for your email replies. Please keep them up. Yeah, I really enjoyed them. They gave me a laugh, a lot of them, so it was great. All right, and then let's talk about today's tutor time. Then we're looking at going back to school, and I'm sure you've seen, because it's everywhere, non-stop on the news, all about this. Yesterday I watched the Downing Street briefing. Remember, yesterday's Saturday, I'm making this Sunday morning, and it was the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, who's the MP for like the district next to mine back at home. Anyway, and it was non-stop questions about this. So Mr. Hume's letter's gone out, but you'll need to keep watching the news for confirmation, because the dates can change, what they decide can change, and it's all around something called the R rate. So I'm going to show you a little video on the R rate now and talk about it. Okay, so the R rate is something they talk about all the time. Rather than me explaining it, I've got this video from the BBC about it, which is really, really good. So I want you to watch this. I'm going to click on it now, but like I don't know how good the sound's going to be on this because I'm like recording on the computer through it. So I've put the link in the description if the sound's really hard to hear. Have a little watch this video, and then I'll talk you through why it's important for you and what it means for school opening. I also want to say before we watch it, learning about a pandemic, this is why you study science at school. Like, I understand loads when they talk on the TV, and it's because of school I did science. So sometimes when you're at school you think, why do I need to know this? This is exactly why, because science is everywhere and things happen. So have a little watch of this, and then we'll go through some questions and just talk more about it.
When will schools open?
Our takeaways allowed.
When can I go and see my mum?
Our lives right now are pretty much controlled by something called R0, also known as the R number. It tells us how many people will likely get infected for every one person who gets ill with coronavirus. If the reproductive number is 2, then one person will probably make 2 others sick, and so the disease spreads. If it's 3, then it'll be around 3. Without a cure or vaccine, this R number guides every decision governments make to fight this pandemic. Before changes were brought in to reduce the spread of coronavirus, its R number was between 2 and 3, which is why it spread so quickly. The aim is for it to be less than 1 and to keep it there so health services can cope. But when R0 is less than 1, we can't immediately switch back to how things used to be. Each restriction that's lifted makes the R number rise, some more than others, but it's not clear how much. And how restrictions are lifted exactly will affect the R number too. For instance, what happens if schools reopen? What if only some pupils go back? These decisions have to be made for everything, and the answers aren't clear. Governments need to carefully balance this need to get countries moving again while still keeping the public safe.
Right, really good video. That really short as well, which I appreciate. So that's told you about the R rate. It's the number of people who infect who. Now, at the moment, they've done like a regional one, and London is the lowest regional R rate in the whole of England. Now, the reason for this is like it just happened in London before, because obviously there's more movement of people here, there's greater contact because everyone lives closer, you've got the tube and everything. So the R rate was higher, and what's happened is, the disease has gone through Londoners more and quickly, so there's immunity and people have already had it and recovered. So that's why London's so ahead of the rest of the country. The north, east, like Newcastle, Gateshead, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, all that's where it's highest, and obviously that's furthest away, and there's a lot less sort of movement of people people up there. So that's what you need to know. In London, it is 0.4. So for every one person that gets the virus, on average, they pass it to 0.4 of a person. So it's a lot less than 1. So if that kept happening, the virus would just fizzle out, yeah, which is what's happened in some countries like Korea. There's no virus anymore. However, when we start opening the country, that's going to change. So think about going back for schools. Loads of people are saying that younger people have a little risk from this virus because the death rates for young people is very, very small. If you're young, fit and healthy, you should be fine. Obviously, people have underlying health conditions and that sort of thing, so it's more dangerous for other people. But generally, if you're healthy and fit and young, you should be absolutely fine. And when I say young, I mean like under 40 or whatever, like you know, not old. So that is what the R rate looks like. And with the fact that, you know, most of us are safe, you'd think that going back to school was, you know, pretty safe, which it seems like it is. What we're not sure about is when you open schools, how that's going to spread things. Let's take, for instance, primary schools, who are definitely going back on the 1st of June, unless there's a change that's been announced. Secondary schools, there's been no date yet. We know we're going back before the summer, but they haven't actually formally announced the date, the government. But primary schools, they have. Now, little kids going back, all right, the chances of them getting sick are very, very low. But have you ever been to primary school? If you've got little brothers or sisters, you know what this is like. They don't wash their hands. They've got like snot rolling down their faces most of the time, and social distancing is just not going to work with little children. So what will the impact of that be? It just takes one of them to have it, and then maybe it will move through. There's other factors as well. Say for secondary schools, for primary schools, like your mum will take you or your dad will take you to the primary school and pick you back up. But for us, we all go on buses to get to school, and then after school, what you do, you go to the shop. You hang about on Sutton Common Road until like people tell you to move on, and then people wander around. Maybe you'll go to Sutton and have a look around. Maybe you'll meet up with people from a different school, your mates who you're not seen, or you know, all of these things will happen, and then you're just mixing with more people. And think how much you've mixed recently, like barely at all. So that is what they're not sure about. Every decision raises that R rate. So that is why you need to keep watching the news and keep seeing, because this virus will progress. Now at the moment, 0.4, we're really happy about this because this is great for us in London. This is going the right way, and hopefully it will peter out and we can get back to normal. But every restriction they do, pubs opening, people back to work, that's going to push that R rate up, so they need to keep it low. Right. Science lesson done. I bet I taught you more than most of your science teachers there today. Hope you enjoyed that today. It's great to hear from you all, guys, and hopefully the R rate stays down, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. All right, guys, enjoy your week. Work hard this Monday morning. Have a good week.